All right, let's call this meeting to order. This meeting and all their meetings is council open to the public. Proper notice been posted and given to the press in accordance with Wisconsin statutes. So the citizenry may be aware of the time, place, and agenda of the meeting. Roll call.
Appleby.
Here.
Rasmussen.
Here.
Brunner.
Here.
Gunderson.
Here.
Nadowski.
Here.
Spearings and Kemp are not present.
All right. First thing on the agenda then is the discussion and possible action on a temporary Class B retail license for the Weyauwega Chamber of Commerce for the Horse and Buggy Days, September 19th, 2015.
Yep. Just as he mentioned, this is the temporary retailer's license. It's for beer for Saturday, September 19th. They're going to do everything similar to what they did last year with Horse and Buggy Days, which is different than the years before that, where they have the beer tent, pool tournament, arm wrestling, band at night, and then they're having the parades with events out on Main Street. They have been working with the police chief, as is our new policy within the last year, on working on security, and there's no problem on that end. So recommendation would be to approve the temporary Class B retailer's license.
All right, I'll recommend to approve the Class B retailer's license for Horse and Buggy Days. Make a motion for that.
I'll second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay? Any opposed, I guess I shouldn't say.
Yeah.
My mind's not here. All right, passes. All right, discussion and possible action on the community operations supervisor job description.
We've had it, we've taken a look at it the last month or two at committee. The key for this position is that it's a working supervisor. The intent is that we're going to maintain 4 full-time employees in public works utilities. You had approved an advertisement for this position and also for a laborer position. With the laborer position, we're not certain whether or how many people we might appoint or hire out of that process. But the thought is, and I think we've talked about this at committee, if the supervisor gets hired from within, immediately we would have an eligibility list, 1 or 2 people to hire to fill that position. If the supervisor gets hired externally, one of the things we're looking at with the 2016 budget is adding a full-time position starting in January. And if that's the case, this process is going to wrap up in October, and it would be maybe a 2-month lag until another person may start. Now, there's a possibility that we hire a supervisor from inside, hire number 1 on the laborer worker list, and if we hire another full-time person, we might end up hiring a second laborer or worker. Right now, what we're focusing on is the supervisor, and because that supervisor would be one of our 4 full-time people, it would still be considered a working supervisor. Now, down the road, I think there's enough administrative work that if we hire an extra full-time person, there's enough non-day-to-day work that we could assign this person to do too, but that'll be part of the budget discussion. So I can check on that here in a minute, so otherwise that'll keep going, maybe I'll...
No, let it keep going. So if the wages on here, is
Yes.
that comparable to the employee that just left?
Yeah, what we've put out there on the advertisement is $50,000 plus minus, or depending on qualifications. This person would be in the on-call schedule, and it would also be, the intent would be that this would be a salaried position. So any on-call or weekend work would be baked into the salary. The person that just left was a lead worker hourly, was making about $46,000 in regular wage, received $20 an hour every week they were on call, and also received overtime or pay for 4 hours a weekend to come in on rounds. So they ended up getting right to about $49,000, $50,000 with working overtime and all of that. So there are a couple things we will look into that we won't talk about in open session right now related to this pay. But I've talked to Attorney Calney about exempt or non-exempt, and when I say that, it's hourly or salaried employees, right around the $50,000 range. There's some
Right.
ramifications if you bump that up a little bit or take it down a little bit, and we'll talk about that when we get there. So,
All right. Yeah, I was
the
kind of curious about that.
yeah, yep, and we left it sort of open. You know, that's just a point to shoot for, is about 50,000. When we put together the budget for this year, we had that assistant administrative position that we talked about. That was budgeted based on about a $50,000 estimate for pay.
Okay.
That one we didn't fill this year, so we'll end up having to do a budget amendment to, move that, but. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it
Okay.
does. Thank you.
So again, down the road here, depending on what we do with the budget, there will most likely be some changes to this. But for now, I feel comfortable keeping this the way it is. I think in general, probably for all of the departments, all the positions, we probably should review the job descriptions anyway. And so any further modifications to this, I would probably defer to that review, if that's okay.
All right. So you're looking for a motion so you can post this, right?
It is advertised, but we have it advertised until September 18th. And till now, until we've had you sign off on this, we haven't distributed it yet. It's been draft up until now, so we haven't shared it yet, but beginning tomorrow we would, if you approve it tonight. Okay?
Anybody's pleasure?
Is there a motion at all?
Make a motion to approve the job description for community operations supervisor.
I'll second that.
Okay. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Carries.
Okay, thank you.
All right, and I guess I'll look for a motion to go into closed session pursuant to 19.85 1G Wisconsin statutes, conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved. The reason for closed session is to discuss ordinances regarding the railroad. The council may choose to reconvene in open session at the completion of the closed session in order to take actions on the items from closed session. Make a motion
I'll make the motion.
and a second.
I'll second that.
Need a roll call.
Appleby?
Aye.
Rasmussen?
Aye.
Brunner?
Aye.
Gunderson?
Aye.
Nadowski?
Aye.
6:14.
Back in open session.
All right, I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
7:01.